Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek, and I'm sitting down with Michael Pshatsky of Red Imps Games, and you've brought us Achaia.
Yes, it's basically a Achaia game, yeah.
And it just barely fits on our table here.
Yep.
So you're getting a lot in the box, that's for sure, which I think you guys won the prize so far, at least here on Tuesday, for the mightiest first player token of all time.
Thank you.
At least for this year. So before we even get started, I'm just going to plunk that one right down in the middle so we can zoom in on that while you're talking. But what are we trying to accomplish in open up Achaia?
So in a Achaia game, we are in the fantasy world called Troy. So this is a kingdom of Troy. And we are taking the roles of the mighty aristocratic families. There are 5 of them, and using intrigues, plotting some schemes against other players, we are trying to get as much power as we can to become the mightiest family in this kingdom. There is a king, but in fact the real power is among us. So this is
let's say, a figurehead anyway.
yeah. That's the situation.
So what would a turn look like?
Yeah. So you are starting with some gold. At the beginning you have intrigue cards, and you are using these 5 dice, and they represent your agents. These agents you will be putting in 12 different locations on the table to get this influence. At the beginning you roll the dice, and you select, you may re-roll if you want, but only once, and all of them at the same time. Each player is doing the same, and then you put one by one die in the selected location. And then we are starting the most interesting part of the game, because then each of the player you may have different intrigue cards, and you will play it against your opponents or in favor of yourself. So what are the cards? They are used to manipulate the dice.
So setting a result to 2 or 4, swapping some dice around.
Exactly. And normally you can do it to your die, but you can perfectly do it also with a die of an opponent.
I could see why Thief would be definitely handy to do that to somebody else.
Yeah, it is very interesting card when you can steal some gold from your opponent, because each time you have 2 effects on each card, but you choose just one. And normally one of them give you some positive result for yourself, and the other one will interact with some other players. You have huge interaction here, and basically when you start the game you should make sure that you will be still friends when you finish. So it's good to agree this at the beginning before you start, that it's nothing personal. So you are playing these intrigue cards, as many as you can and you want, but also what is very interesting here, you may use powers of some powerful characters that are available to each player.
And why don't we pull those down to the middle?
Let's put them in the middle. Each round you will have 3 characters available, plus the permanent 2 characters. And these are very powerful but also greedy persons, so we need to bribe them. You pay them the gold, and then you can use the special ability of them. But when you use them, you are putting the usage token, and then any other player can still use them, but now they cost more. They are more greedy. And you can do it as many times as you want, but each time they will cost you more. And with that you are all the time changing the situation on the table, manipulating the dice, results, swapping them between locations, and at the end, your ultimate goal is to dominate each of these locations. So the more power you will have, you will dominate. You will put your marker, and each time you put the marker for the first time, you will get 1 point, victory point. And at the end of the game, because the game takes 3 rounds, and at the end of the 3rd round, the player who has the highest number of power token, he will dominate it ultimately at the end, and he will get another victory point. And the player with the most victory point wins. If there is a draw, there is no dominance, unfortunately. You have no points for this. The winner can only be one.
There can be only one.
Yeah.
Now, how many players does this support?
You can play up to 5 players, and the duration of the game is around 1 hour to 90 minutes, depending if you play it for the first time, it will be a little bit longer, of course, but once you know the game, it's around 1 hour, and you can play it perfectly during this time.
Now your fabulous first turn marker here, is this something special for the
yes,
show?
It was used for the Kickstarter action, and now you can get it additionally. When you, with the standard game, you have just a cardboard marker, but you can get it additionally now in our booth.
I'm sure a lot of people are wishing they're here right now who are watching this. Well, Mike, this looks spectacular, and thank you for giving us a quick run through of what to expect if you pull up
My
Achaia.
pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
It was my pleasure.